Well, we've been talking about retirement for a few years, and I had always thought retirement would still be in California. We had always planned on selling our home and downsizing in California, but still staying in California my entire life, our entire life, other than, well, me for 3 years, no, 4 years, you none. We've lived in Southern California our entire lives. So Robin had just begun to look around the country. We wanted to be by the water, by the ocean. We can't do that in California. It's just too pricey. And so she began to look and investigate places, and one of them was Southport. And we have ended up choosing Southport.
So we were coming to vacation in this area. We were in South Carolina and we're coming to Southport as well, a few days in each place. So at our Airbnb here in Southport, the host asked us why we were coming, and we told them why we were retiring here. We look at houses, and they said, "Oh, we have a good friend who's a realtor. If you want his name," and it was Jack. And so we called him while we were here and set up an appointment. And so he took a day and he took us all around and showed us, different areas. I grew up in California, big city, my whole life, and I've always just had a small town girl inside of me, and always wanted to live in a smaller town. And so I was bound and determined for retirement, that's what we were going to do. And I finally got him on board. And investigating online, reading things. I think the first thing that I saw about it was the year that you got voted the happiest seaside town.
We actually, when we talked to Jack, said that it was going to be probably 3 to 5 years before we moved here. So, we also wanted him just to know, realtors obviously, they're making their money by selling places, not by showing places. And
cool your jets,
and so we just didn't want to waste his time. So we wanted just to be upfront and say, hey, this is going to be a while before we do anything. But he took a day and showed us a bunch of different houses, in town, out of town, St. James, just the area. And what we did is, we went home at that point and really okay, great, we saw some houses. There's some places we like, there's areas we didn't like as much. And so went home and really put everything on the back burner. And then it was...
watched the listings. We kept up with what's on the market. Oh, is this something we would want? So just been looking and watching to see what was coming on the market.
And prices were increasing a little bit. And we had looked at Bluffton, South Carolina, and wouldn't have chosen it anyhow. But by the time we got to Bluffton a year ago, we really had already been priced out of the area. And so we got here, we didn't want that to happen here in Southport. So got back to California, and then we found a house in the Westcott area that we really liked. And it was, although we had not seen the house, we had been in a house with Jack across the street, which was a very similar house. So we knew pretty much what it was going to be like. We called Jack and said, hey, we don't do this kind of thing. We do not buy property sight unseen.
We have a saying in our family, it's like the Tuttles don't know how to make a decision. There's no quick decisions in the Tuttle family, so it's very unlike us to
My dad researched cars to such a degree that by the time he was ready to buy it, it didn't exist any longer. He was an engineer, and so we just don't make, but Jack really took extra care of showing us the place and leading us around the property via Zoom and Facebook, a lot of FaceTime, excuse me. So we had a great experience just seeing the property, even though we weren't here.
And it helped that we had been through that area, seen a similar house, so we basically knew what it looked like.
Jack talked a lot about what the communities offered too, and we actually weren't looking for a lot of services, and that specific community didn't have a lot of services.
Amenities.
So Jack took a lot of time talking through not just the property itself, but the communities, and we live in an area that we've never lived in an area that had associations, and so just wanted to get a feel a little bit more for what each community offered and what the requirements were and things like that. We're not used to being told how we can have our home and stuff like that. So we just wanted to kind of get a real good understanding of that, and he walked us through that. And
It sounds like it was a great education.
I mean, it'll probably be 2 to 3 years still before we actually retire, and plan on making it out as soon as that really. We also will be bringing our son, who will live with us for a time. He has high functioning autism, and so he's an adult. He's 28, but and he can live on his own. And so we're also out here this time researching, trying to find places that he would be and what kind of. I mean, we haven't found a lot of information yet about. I was going to say seeker sensitive. Now I'm in church mode. Sorry. In special needs services and things like that. In California, there's lots of services. Don't know kind of that. So that was part of our trip this time, is to find out.
Yeah.
Well, we would absolutely recommend Realty Group. Jack was incredibly thoughtful, took a lot of time with us. And after the close, and there was the hurricane, I don't know how to pronounce that last one. We had talked to him about something else, because I've stayed in contact with Jack just occasionally and for different things, and not necessarily even house related, but he offered to go by and check out the place to make sure it was okay, because we hadn't been able to get a hold of our management company, and so.
Actually, he didn't offer. He just texted us and said, "Hey guys, just want to let you know I went by your house. Just take a look. Everything looked fine."
That's right.
So we didn't even know he did that until he texted us to just
He's
let
good
us
people.
know.
So
Don't
the
worry,
service is
everything's
incredible.
good. And then Dana, after in the process, she did all the work of getting all the homeowners stuff to us and all the little things. And she went back and looked at a few things for us, and we took some more pictures. And so just the two of them together, were just awesome. We covered everything you could even imagine, things that we wouldn't even thought of. So.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how their service is in terms of people who are here, but it definitely took more because we weren't here and we needed things followed up on that we couldn't follow up on. So if we were going to do it, they were going to be the ones that had to do it. And it was just, I mean, there was never any thought to them, at least not that was ever communicated or even, that we could catch in nonverbal kind of cues. They were just always spectacular to work with.